Right, well, welcome to Retro&Modern, where we play Chuckle Brothers Electronics.
Yes.
You'd like to introduce what we have today?
Yes.
You're more about this on the me.
Today we have this Hori Nintendo Switch Wired Controller. The description was very vague. So I'll zoom you in if you can see. All it said was the controller no longer works but could be repaired or dismantled for parts. So we've given it a quick test to make sure it was actually faulty, because we've had a lot of stuff recently that was sold as faulty and hasn't been faulty.
So, obviously, it's got a USB connection which we plugged in and to the PC, and it didn't go donkey donk.
It didn't go. It didn't do the donkey donk. It just done sweet FA.
Yeah, absolutely nothing as if it wasn't plugged in.
So we will open it up. We've said the first thing we want to test, just for a sanity check, is we're going to check if the connection goes from each. There's 4 pins in the USB-A, so we're going to check if they go from here to the controller.
I'm just wondering if our leads are going to go in there.
Yeah, they should do.
We could have done with an open-ended socket in it, so we
Yeah.
could just put it on the 4 pins.
Yes, we might have to make ourselves a little test board.
I'm not saying it can't be done without.
No, it would just make it easier. So they're all Phillips screws on the bottom. So let's just see if we can get a bit of a better look as we do it. And then we have to focus quickly. Come on. Come to focus. There we go.
It's very weird how it goes in out so much.
Yeah, it is very odd, to say the least.
Oh, you're going to need to put the screws in, aren't you?
Yes.
Have a Marmite jar lid.
Why, thank you.
We have all the high technology here.
Yeah. Marmite jars, we've got Nutella jars, chewing gum pots.
Old sweetie tubs.
Yeah.
But you know, you've got to you need a tub, so you've got to buy something, and you've got to consume the contents. So you can have the tub.
Yes. One thing I did mention was the price, which was £1.76 and £2.94 postage.
They're not expensive.
Not expensive at all. It was dirt cheap. We just needed something to.
And for anyone that does want, you can see it now and again in your hands, not in that position. There's a weird disky indent on the back.
Yes.
Which is quite a cool feature.
Yes. The D-pad on this controller is detachable.
So you've got the 4 individual
You get the 4 individual buttons, and then you can store the D-pad in the back.
It's quite a neat feature.
Yeah. It's quite handy if you need like old school 4 buttons rather than a D-pad.
Showing your age.
Yeah.
That's what, 4 screws so far?
4 screws so far. Cool.
And there's what, 6? Or even more under that, I think.
Not there. That one's not there. Didn't feel any in these.
There's 6 holes I can see.
Yes.
Or 7 if there's one in the middle of the other bit.
No, it's just a hole. You can see the circuit board underneath.
Yeah, I can't from here because I've got a bar in my way.
Yeah.
And that's not very magnetic either.
Not brilliantly magnetic, no. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh, there's one in there. Sometimes it's just about capturing the light just right, so you can see where the screws are hidden.
No, at least these screws are easy to see. I mean, some things you take apart, the screws are hidden under sticky feet and
3 miles
plastic
of holes.
Or on something we've got to repair at some point, hidden behind a whopping great lump of metalwork.
Yes.
Sometimes that without giving it away.
Yes.
And the 2 screws there we've seen are hidden by metalwork, aren't they? So
That's just the bumper that fell out.
oh, you broke the bumper of this. And
I've chucked the screw bits to the
you
floor.
close the screwdriver.
No, not the screws. The
Oh, screwdriver tip.
yes. Screws on your side.
Oh, we can throw them away yet, don't you worry.
I think there might be one left. I'm just picking up all the pieces I've thrown to the floor.
Now, whilst you do that, I'm just going to have a little feel. Oh yeah, you didn't undo that one.
Yeah.
That'd be why it's not opening very well.
Yes.
Oh, that one's magnetic.
Yeah.
Hey.
The other one just doesn't want to come off. Doesn't want to actually come out fully.
What, like that?
Like that. Yeah.
It does want to do that, so I didn't do that, obviously. Have your screwdriver back.
I think.
And then, oh yeah, like that, that's quite easy.
Yeah.
I was worried about little things going to pop out all over the place, buttons and whatnot, but no, it does seem alright. I'll move that to the back.
And we get a first look at the board, which is unpluggable. The cable is on a
plug. Nice. We can unplug and
I'll let you have a go. I have a habit of pulling the connectors off the board on those.
oh yeah, you do, don't you? Sometimes it's quite funny to watch. Actually, this one doesn't look like it's very unpluggable.
No. It definitely looks like they put a plug on it.
It does, but it doesn't look unpluggable because I can't see the other half of the socket. Because that's one piece.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very unpluggable at all.
Let me just try something.
It should, in theory, unplug from the midpoint there where the gap is, but I can't.
No, I
The
think
whole lot's moving with
the
it.
gap's higher up. Actually, no, there is in the second half.
I think they're just bent pins and.
Bend the pins and.
Oh, well, there's enough
enough.
there for you to get one. Do you want me to do it this end?
We can do. Maybe just grab the meter.
Unfortunately, you can't see in it, but very well. But I can see from this view enough that there's no
Yes.
obviously
I'm gonna zoom the camera back out.
pins shot up in the air, as it were. You don't need that in view because we brought a multimeter that has a phone app, which is quite nice.
Which means we can do this.
Ta-da! And it even shows you the mode it's on.
We're in beepy mode.
Beepy beepy mode. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Untangle that just a little bit more. As with all cables, they
Self-tie.
self-tie.
And that one's done a really good job at it. It's actually gone through itself.
Would you like that back?
I think I'll have that back for a second.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's dealt with any cables in their life will know.
Now,
You put a cable down and it instantly ties a knot. Should use them as shoelaces.
you can look up schematics online, but we just need to know that all 4 pins come through.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm going to go.
Is there a ground point you can see?
Well, I've got ground there.
Well, can you just try that a sec? Poke.
Yeah, it's here in the ground.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can get in carefully without touching the shielding. Try. I'm on one of the pins, I believe.
But if you are, there's nothing there.
No, okay, let me try another one.
That's
Red.
VDD. So that's the voltage.
Next one.
That's data minus.
Next one.
Nothing.
Hang on. 1, 2. See, because I can't see. Try that.
Yes.
Well, can you hold it onto the third pin?
Third pin. Yep.
And I'll.
There it is.
There. Right, the last
Luckily,
one.
the shield's actually done separate wire on this connector. That's ground.
Right, so they're all coming through.
They're all coming through, which is good because it means it's not just a broken cable. Because whilst it's good and not good.
Well, you should have got bubble chip.
Yes. But it's good in the sense of it might actually be a little bit more interesting than just replacing a cable.
Take the cable, but never mind. The only thing I don't know with bubble chips is you can't really get into them very well. I have seen people do it,
Yes, but
but you ain't gonna see me do it.
they're meant for not being repairable. They're not meant to be played with. We can turn the meter off because we know it's going to whinge us otherwise.
Yeah, if these meters do, it's like, oh, I haven't been
I've been
used
left
for
on for too long.
5 minutes.
My battery's going to die.
Well, let it die. Put another one in. So yeah, this is a bit more. There's only one thing on this I wish it had.
A chip?
No. An LED.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any sign of LED. Be nice because then you know that power's coming through.
Yes. Right, that's just the other bumper. That's both of those. Now I'm going to chuck those in the lid.
And then that's the rest of it.
And
Oh,
then
this is a bit the best bit.
That bit
I
can sit over there with the band still in it. And we've got our membranes.
Which they're not part of what the problem is, obviously.
And no, they stick down nicely on this one though.
Yeah, I've got little bits that go through.
Right. There's a turbo button. Well, actually, it's not turbo. I don't know if we can see on this camera. I might have to use our fancy new microscope. What I'll do
blur vision, guys,
to focus it, and we'll see.
Be hard when you're holding it.
Nah, not quite clear enough.
No, just go over to the.
Right, let's just.
Just zoom out again. You see more what's going on.
We can try on the camera for the first time our fancy new digital microscope.
Yeah.
There's the bits we're working on.
And I can tell you, we humanely got rid of my old microscope.
Yes.
Better than what you did. Remember one of your old phones?
Which one?
The one we put up against the back gate of our old property we used to live at.
Shot
it.
Yes.
With BB guns.
Right. We are on. I'll focus the microscope in a minute.
I can see what you were talking about. I thought this is manual. Oh, yeah.
Turbo.
That's an LED.
It is an LED, but it says Turbo.
Turbo. It's a Turbo LED.
Yes. I think I'm guessing that's only when you activate turbo mode, wherever you activate turbo mode.
I'm not turning that over. I'm sorry. I'm just not touching it because those buttons will come out and I will never get them.
Probably time to do the button right above it, I'd guess. It has too many buttons.
I wonder if that would still work or it's so dead it wouldn't.
We could have a look.
It does mean turning it off and back on again. No, plugging it in.
Yeah. Right, let's untangle the cable.
I mean, you won't fix this in the old-fashioned way of giving it a bash.
No. And we will switch back to the overhead camera. Just because then we can have more of a generalised look.
I'll just. No, it's not going to go that wide. So, yeah, you still see it. It's there, isn't it?
Yes. But at least now
if something happens and it does turn on. But right, hang on. I'm going to go quiet.
Yeah.
For once in my life.
I'm going to first of all unplug my keyboard, so I don't need that at the moment. And then the donkey donk being unplugged. Plugging in controller.
Definitely no.
And no donkey donk.
Right, so you thought it might be that button.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, get in the way, but no, nothing happens there.
Try all of them just in case. But no. And we can confirm, because this should be another membrane. And that is the turbo button. So, Right, but one thing we can do, bit unorthodox, but we can check what if the voltage is coming. Yes. Let me just get the meter back ready for you.
The horrible thing is the cable's pulling it all over the place. I'm trying to keep it there in view, but the cable's trying to pull it off the desk.
Yes.
I've had the sharp things.
Put the meter back on the screen.
Got it in DC.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, red's over this side. Hopefully, guys, I don't get in the way. If I do, just shout at me, because I won't hear you.
Yeah. Whilst you're doing that,
There we go.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Yep, 5 volts.
5 volts, so it's definitely getting its voltage in, which is nice.
Now, question is, can we find out where that 5 volt goes?
Into the board.
Into the board, yes. I suppose the first thing we should have a look at is if there's a fuse.
I don't think
there would be.
There would be on this. There's very, very few components.
Yes.
But that's because of the bubble chip, which if people don't know is that lump in the blob, black hard blob.
If the problem's in the bubble chip, we can't repair it.
No, we haven't got the technology for that.
But even still, you would need another one that works to carefully wind away to see where all the connections go.
Well, they brought a lot of connections out.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of connections out. So there's quite a bit going on in there. I can actually see signs that someone's been in this.
Interesting.
They probably had a bit of stick drift because the point over here is actually, you can see excess flux, but if you look generally, flux is washed because this would have been through a sonic clean of some form. Can't see half the components because they're so small, ones that are there.
But we can look under the microscope.
Mm-hmm.
I will just turn off the meter for a moment.
We do not need the meter. We do not want the meter at the moment.
At this moment. And let me just switch back to the microscope. And then you can have a little look around.
Right, so focus for me. Right, so we've got, there's the
blob chip.
The blob. It actually looks like they tried to write on it too, which is unusual. But you can see they've got a fair few points brought out.
Yes. There's some capacitors there at the bottom. We could check if they're shorted.
Yeah, there's caps there we can check. You see, there. There's flux. There's just so much flux.
Yeah.
That would have been washed off.
Yeah, the rest of the board is pretty clean.
Yeah, because don't forget, I've worked in a place where we used surface mount extensively, and we always sonically cleaned our boards, and I don't believe that other places don't.
More caps there, and a fuse. F1.
Does actually have a fuse, and that's very close. Unfortunately, you can't see the traces very well.
No. I think they're coming out the other side. I think they're actually coming out where the wires are, by the looks of it.
Yeah, so there's a fuse.
There's a fuse there.
What's on the other side? So, guys, just going to turn over. Hang on. And back. Oh, yeah, look. You can see. Sorry. I missed.
Yes.
Which also shows something's been mucked around with. Because that's not been cleaned. Because you can see the wisp of white.
Yes.
And the fuse is obviously the other
and
side.
turbo. turbo. But the one thing is, they spell it correctly there, but if you go down to the LED, you've done it wrong.
Yeah. Weird. Very weird. I'm just checking that wire there. That's all right. It's nice. Soldered well enough. It's just, Yes. Nothing really major on this side.
No.
To look at. It's just all traces and whatnot, so we don't need to worry about that side. But we can check that. We can certainly check that fuse.
Let me see you in continuity for a sec.
We've got a couple of caps there we can check.
And I will just overlay the meter.
So there. Couple of small caps there. Load of caps there. It's a few resistors. Actually, zero ohm
resistors,
so they're
more fuses.
Lint wire stroke fuses. Right, so are we going to be able to keep this in view enough?
Let me just, the meter's sort of cracked out, so I'm going to hide it for a sec and try and get a reading.
They do sometimes. It's
There we go. Put it back on.
there you go.
Let's have a look at the fuse.
There's one.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It looks like there's a bit of flux on that.
Yeah. Capacitors, because capacitors shouldn't be shorted from end to end. That one's not. That one's not. We've got these 0 ohm resistors over here. Might as well check them. Check the easy stuff.
It's very hard in such small components, isn't it?
It is a bit difficult. But that one does. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, there is definitely a.
So 0 ohm seem okay.
That's good.
We've got another capacitor here, which is shorted. Let me just make sure I wasn't touching anything else at the time. That capacitor is definitely shorted.
Right, so let's find
dead short.
the ground, which should be the black.
Yes. Which actually we should have to use either black. They should go to the same place.
Yeah, and one side of the cap, in
One
theory,
side of the
should
cap
be
should be
ground.
ground. And there was this cap here I was testing. Okay, doesn't seem to link to shield. This cable is getting a bit in the way, but there we go. Don't think I'm getting into that ground properly. Let's try. Let me unplug the. We left it plugged in, which wouldn't have helped.
That wouldn't have done nothing.
Wouldn't have
This would have been,
But
you know,
if I do
well,
it onto
the
here,
flash.
if I do it onto the shield,
One side's ground, we could expect.
that's ground there. But the other side is showing up as open line. So that seems. So it seems fine unless you put the meter straight across it. Let's just try again. Nope, it seems to be fine now. Okay, false alarm. Okay, there's that one there. Test. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let me get a nice connection to ground so we don't have to keep using 2 probes. Let me pass you the probey probe.
Spiking probe.
And somewhere around here I have a clip. Clippity clip. It is on the end of that. And I'll just use that to connect it to the shield with the USB connector. And then we can confirm our connection once I've got it to clip on. Right, you should be able to confirm it by, we know there was the top side of C12 was ground.
Wash, I can put in loads of places if you're on ground.
Yeah, but I know where ground is on that one.
Right, so we're definitely there. Right, where is C12? Is get me easy working from a camera.
Yes, it's the opposite one.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Yes.
I'm making sure I get into the soul. That's good.
And there you go. We're on a good ground. Nothing on VDD, which is good. It means VDD isn't directly shorted.
So we know one end, fine.
Yeah.
Well, that should probably be both ends.
Don't know. That's a resistor.
It's not a resistor,
Oh, no,
is it?
it's
Not
resistor.
by what it's labelled as. Okay, we'll come back to that one.
And that's just a 0 ohmer, so they might not be grounded.
That's good. Right, his cap here. Hang on.
Are those caps? You sure those are caps?
No, it might not be, but because I just realised I can't quite read it there.
They are
L.
Yeah, they are on the negative lines.
That's labelled as L. As is this, and this doesn't shorten either side.
What does an L mean?
Well, it's put an inductor of some form.
Yes.
Nothing there. Wires are in the way. Resistor.
There's the fuse.
That's the fuse. Which that would be on the lives, the positive side, so that shouldn't.
Yeah.
Cap. That side must be
That's
ground. That's the non-ground side.
seem fine.
So they're fine. Some more. This cable's getting in the way a little bit. More. Oh no, it's not.
No.
I thought it was more. They're not actually populated. So some resistor straight there, which is fine. Grounding out, which is fine. Was potentially supposed to be a chip there once upon a time. If they bothered, yeah. So basically, metering it is not really. Move that cable again. Metering it's not yielding any good results. So there's obviously something there. Oh, it's part of the controller. So that would be the ground pin of the control, which is irrelevant because it doesn't get that far. So we got that on. Which is fine.
Yes.
So all the caps are showing up. I'm not even going to try getting into that at the moment. Not sure what that one is. If that's actually a cap, or does that see one for there? Because to me, that looks more like a resistor that's been put upside down. It doesn't matter. They will work. I'll just wipe off the bit of flux that's built up on the end of the probe. So I think that's a resistor.
No.
One end is to ground.
That might be C1. Actually, it would be because you've got C2 in next to this second white one.
Not seen a white cap before. That's definitely.
Yeah.
And that's going straight into
The blob.
the blob. See, L is inductor or something, potentially. I don't know what we're going to do to check that out. But as far as I can tell,
yes,
all the caps, and that's
seem
not
fine.
cap, that's an inductor. Checking all those are good. One side, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, every single cap seems to be fine. Not.
So we don't seem to have a short.
We don't
We
seem
can
to
see.
short.
I suppose
Okay.
the only other thing we
could resistance mode the resistors. We could go into diode mode. Put the positive onto the ground, and then negative do your tests round. That will yield.
If we can understand what it's saying, though.
But it should yield results, some form to results.
The other thing we can do is get some power in and follow it and see if the power disappears somewhere.
The only problem I've got with that, and I'm not starting, is some of the traces are quite visible, some are not. Just quickly turn up, put a finger in place on where I am.
The traces that aren't on this side, on the other side.
Everything's on the other side for that one.
Yeah. All this side would be is for the controls.
No, the reason I was looking, because when you look to that side, you can't actually see where any of them go.
They come out the back side. That's why there's a component on each leg.
Yes, you can't actually prove where they're going properly, which is a problem. And also, they don't all go somewhere like that. The second leg, the data plus, doesn't have a component on it.
It does have a trace.
The minus, you can see that it's going to resistor. Positive doesn't seem to have a component.
No, we know it goes from that fuse. So that fuse will be on the VDD line.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can't. I mean, that looks to me like that one is actually done underneath and comes across to the side. So my point is, we can't easily see where the traces are, which will make that a little bit difficult. Not impossible, but make it a little bit difficult to track where it's gone. I mean, yes, we can power it, check the 5, and then check the 5 on the fuse. I mean, there's no excuse for it not to be both sides of the fuse.
And then we can see where traces go from there down.
It seems to go. It looks to me like it goes down to a via.
But it also continues on buttons, though. She also goes to those cabs and down towards the U2.
I can't see a trace over there.
I reckon.
So we'd have to trace where that via goes, which probably pops the other side, and it probably pops back up somewhere. I mean, we can do it, but it's finding where the trace goes fully. Because it does seem to go left there as well. I'll show you what I mean. The pad here seems to come across here. but I don't know if that links down this way. It looks like it doesn't because there's a little gap there. So I don't know if that travels elsewhere or down there to that via through the other side and then to somewhere else.
The traces on the right hand side would definitely be. So there it goes through those caps.
I'm not sure it does. I can't see a link. Oh, you're talking about these caps.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see a link between that side anywhere there and then. So it doesn't seem to be a trace link, but I can see. When we can get onto plug it in, we can see where it goes.
Mm.
But I can't see the direct link, so it's going to be hard to follow it fully, if you see what I mean.
Let me go negative. So we're going to have to find different sort of negative out there. Give out some power.
Yes, because in order to do that, we need a new negative point.
Yes. Yes, we know.
Yes, you've not been used for about 2 minutes.
Right, let's find a new negative point. It's a plus and minus.
Right, so that's a negative, is it?
I believe so.
Right, we'll soon find out. So as soon as I put it into there, we should get 5 volts.
I think you're on the wrong one. You're one away. You need to go onto that silver bit there. A bit higher up. Like you're going in between.
Yeah, I can't see. Yeah, it's so hard to get into.
Let's go on the fuse.
Really?
Unless this negative point isn't connected up. Well, let me look at another negative point. Should have a negative there. There we go.
That's it.
5 volts there.
There's no excuse for it not to be the other side.
Yeah.
Try the cat. No. No, so it doesn't directly drink those caps. So it does go through the fuse, down through. I can't see that. So this wire over here.
Although it should come up on my U2 somewhere. Some voltage anyway should be on my U2.
Somewhere it's got to come back, but does it go through other things first?
I've got 3.3 there. So something's going at 3.3. Oh, probably that chip because there's the 5.
Yeah. Obviously, we haven't seen check the pin out of that chip yet, so.
Get ourselves a bit of a sharper focus so we can see what's going on.
Right, so we've got. Just getting through there. I'm going to jump.
Well, you can't see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out where I am there. I'm jumping all the way over. Not putting it focus there. So it does seem to be disputing around the board.
Oh, and not there, it's not.
Well, I don't know, that's the ground side.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the
0.3 volts. So where does that come from?
Oh, that's coming from the stick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stick does that. That's the middle point of the stick.
Yeah,
Which is basically just a potentiometer, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that I would expect
I mean,
to be weird.
there's nothing particularly obvious.
No. But now I can see that's screaming out. There's no blown component.
No sign of anything getting hot. You can try the ouchie test if you would like, but
Yeah, I don't think it's putting anything. It's not starting up, is it?
no. Right, yeah, you know what we can do?
We know it's not starting up because it's not identifying itself to the USB.
Let's see what drawer we've got. Let me... Oh, I disconnected the wrong thing. I will sort the camera back out. Luckily, it's not the camera we're on at the moment. I need to unplug it for safety. And that's disconnected because I don't want to get a load of power to my power supply, to my computer. I'm going to set my power supply to a volt up to an amp, because unless we get some draw, it's going to be a bit hard to know what's going on, isn't it?
Mm.
So I will give you the live probe.
No, lovely.
It's not on just yet.
Well, that's a waste of time you're looking at.
I'm just going to connect this to here, so I can use this to go to that ground point I found down here.
Alright.
And then if I turn this on, and if you find there's positive, which is on which one?
So it's on the fuse, isn't it?
Yes, it will be on fuse.
So if I can edge my in.
Tap out the fuse. 0.03 amps of volt.
0.00.
Yeah. So no real draw.
So it's not drawing, it's not starting.
I mean, without anything connected, we're getting 0.02.
Yeah, so that's the lead.
Yeah. So it's not drawing any ampage.
I think the bullshit. I mean, someone has been mucking around with it. There's definite signs.
Just switch back to overhead camera.
I think someone might have. It's just an opinion. But because there was extensive marks around one of the sticks, I reckon there's probably a bit of stick drift at some point.
Mm.
They've probably had a short,
Mm.
and they've probably popped the part of the bubble chip that identifies itself to the USB.
Yes.
Because there's no data flowing through that whatsoever.
No.
I mean, I suppose we could set up a scope, but I don't believe anything's coming out.
Nothing is, because the computer doesn't even identify that anything's been plugged in.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even if it was slightly gone, a lot of these chips will still show up under USB, but it'll say faulty,
yes.
unrecognised device.
Yes, but it's not picking up anything. We're not seeing anything we can really work with either.
No, I mean, we can replace capture this, but I don't.
We didn't find a short.
Yeah, we didn't find a short, and there's clearly no. I mean, I could put the scope on over the crystal.
Yeah.
And see if there's anything coming out of that, but I mean, that's irrelevant because the first thing it should do is identify itself.
Yeah, and it's not. So
I don't believe any data has been shot back down the line.
No, I don't. I think we'll have to leave it there for now because, well, I don't think this is going to be repairable.
No, because that.
If there was a short, then maybe. If there was a short, which we've confirmed there isn't because we're getting no amp draw. If there was a short, you would expect some amp draw.
That would.
That would overcome it if it goes over an amp.
Go out.
But yeah, if it goes over an amp, it will. But it wasn't putting anything, so there wasn't a short. We metered, there was no short. So I think that will have to be it for this one.
Yes, unfortunately, this one's a bust. Hopefully, don't get too many of those. There's two types I don't like.
Stuff that just works.
Stuff that just works. You play it. It's just faulty. Yes, brilliant. You buy it and it's not.
Yeah.
That can be quite annoying. I mean, I know it sounds daft, but when you're trying to fix something, you want a fault. So, and the other type are the ones that you can't fix at all because of these bleeding bubble chips.
Yes.
So really, that's it. That's all we can do for this one. Sorry, guys.
And we'll see you next time.